About 3 weeks ago, a girl joined my server, the Juby's Cave, and today, after exactly 21 days, she sent me an email to review. I'm excited to see what level she got to after 21 days, exactly 3 weeks, of following my tips, practicing inside the server, and networking with other copywriters. So let's not waste any time and let's go check out her email.
Okay, let's get into the review. So the prompt, which I sent inside the Juby's Cave, again, because I send daily practices inside, so some prompts that you can practice with, and you can write emails and then send them inside the copy submission channel where people review each other's copy to improve, etc., etc. But this was the prompt. Write an email for a business coach who is trying to get people to sign up for his upcoming workshop on how to start your own business. The price of the workshop is $97, and at the time you send the email, there are 12 hours left before the workshop starts. And this is going to be a sales email. So our only goal is going to be to get people to click on the link. I always say that for a sales email, it should be around 200 words. It shouldn't be more than 200, 210 words, or it would be too long. They would get lost and never get to our call to action, which is basically all we want to do. All we want to do is get people to our call to action. So let's start to reading my student's email. My $1 million bids formula revealed. Hey, first name. What I'm about to tell you might make it hard for you to sleep tonight, and I'm not exaggerating. Here's something really important that you need to know. It's easy to make $1 million a year. What? That can be true. Well, it is. Think about it this way. How much do you need to make $1 million a year? $83,466 a month. Perfect, right? Now, consider this. How can you make $83,466 a month? Making this much money with a 9-to-5 job is nearly impossible, no doubt. But with your bees, it's really easy to make. Curious about how? Let me explain. Let's say that you have a product or service priced at $834 each. All you need to do is attract 100 clients to purchase it, and there you have it, making it $83,466 every month. Crazy, right? I can imagine what's on your mind right now. Okay, Naeem, but how do I start my own business and create my product or service? Well, I've developed a step-by-step blueprint that helped me earn $1 million in under a year, and I'd like to share it with you. First name. Join me for an engaging 3-hour live workshop where I reveal my 7-step passionpreneur blueprint to help kickstart your entrepreneurial journey. Click here to discover my $1 million blueprint for under $100. Sign off. P.S. You have less than 12 hours left before I reveal the 7 steps to those who signed up. Make sure you don't miss out. Click here and save your spot before it's too late. Okay, the email is definitely not bad. For someone who started 3 weeks ago, it's actually a very impressive email. The hook was perfect. But there's definitely room for improvement. Let me explain. The subject line sounds very guru, Guri, which means it sounds like a guru. It sounds like a guru is saying that. This is something you would hear out of an Instagram guru or someone like that. Click here and discover my $1 million bids formula. It just sounds like a guru. That's what it is. So I would find probably a better subject line, more intriguing, a bit maybe more specific, more unique, because this is, as I said, is something heard and reheard. So it's not really unique. Now, hook. Hey, first name. What I'm about to tell you might make it hard for you to sleep tonight. And I'm not exaggerating. Perfect. I love it. I love this hook. I think this hook is perfect. Here's something really important that you need to know. It's easy to make $1 million a year. Why do you put these? I would not put what are those, caption thing? Yeah, I would not put it as a caption. Maybe I would put it as all capital letters, because it's really a statement. When you have a statement, you did good putting it in bold, but I would have put it also in capital, or one of the two. Capital is more powerful than just bold. That's just how it is. What? That can be true. Good line to go from the hook to the body. See, use a line like this, and then you can explain something. It's a good way to go from the hook to the body. So perfect on that too. Well, it is. Think about it this way. How much do you need to make $1 million a year? $800 a month. I don't like this perfect. I think it kind of break the flow. I would have done $83,460 a month, right? And now, okay, now consider this. So here, instead of that, where is the, here it is. Okay, now consider this, right? How can you make $83,460 a month? Okay, the thing about this is that she said consider this. And I mean, consider, use it more when you say it and then you say a statement or something relate, something about it. You don't ask another question. So consider this. Making the amount of money with a 9-to-5 job is almost impossible. That's something they should consider. But when you ask them a question, you will probably say, think about it. Think about this. Ask yourself this question. Okay? So the word consider is not doesn't really fit what you're about to say in the next lines. How can you make a $1,000 amount? Making this much money with a 9-to-5 job is nearly impossible. No doubt. Not bad. This no doubt is evitable, but it's not a bad line. But with your beats, it's really easy to make. Here, I think like you could make it flow more naturally if you say, but with your beats, but with your beats, well, it's very easy to make. Exclamation mark. Curious about how? Let me explain. I don't like this. By your beats, well, it's easy to make. Curious about how? Who says curious about how when you talk in real life? Remember, when you reread your email, it needs to sound like you're talking in real life. Who in the world says making this much money in 9-to-5 is almost impossible? No doubt. Curious about how? Prof. It really doesn't sound natural at all. So I would definitely go more with a just let me explain. Just let me explain. Yeah. Take the shit off. Let me explain. Let's say that you have a product or a service priced $834 each. All you have to do is attract 100 clients to purchase it, and there you have it. Okay. The problem here is that when you do a double dot, you either say one sentence and it's a statement, so the sentence stops there, or it's a list of multiple things. Here you have, all you have to do is a list of one thing and the sentences go on. So it doesn't really fit. You could connect this. All you have to do is to attract 100 clients to purchase it. And there you have it, making $82,466 every month. Crazy, right? It's crazy because it's not true. That's why it's crazy. It's crazy because if you attract 100 clients, you make $83,466 1 month. There's other 11 months in the year. So if you make it like a recurrent payment thing, you need to say it. In this case, you just said something fake. Because if you attract 100 clients, they make $83,466. They don't make $1 million. So you really need to explain that better, give a better detail. Say, like somehow, while keeping it simple, you need to make them understand that those clients need to be recurrent, or they need to find 100 every month. And it's much easier to do recurrent payments than to find 100 new clients every month. So you need to explain that. So right here, it's crazy because it's not true. Crazy, right? All right. You're already doing good because you're using this crazy, right? Or these questions that you ask to the reader. And the reason why you ask them is because you want them to engage. When you say, and you want them, first of all, to engage, and second of all, to say yes. This is a sales technique that I taught inside the cave, and she's using perfectly. Asking a question to the reader, a banal question, just a confirmation to the reader, makes them being more engaged into the copy and makes them say yes. If they say yes to that, they're more inclined to say yes to your call to action. That's how it is. So great job with this crazy, right? I can imagine what's on your mind right now. It doesn't sound very well. I can imagine. I bet by now you're probably thinking, sounds better. I can imagine. Or here you should say, I can already imagine. It's missing a word probably. I can already imagine what's on your mind right now. Double dot. Double dot. Okay, name. But how do I start my own business and create my products or service? Long sentence. I would cut it in two. Well, I've developed a step-by-step blueprint that helped me earn $1 million in under a year. And I'd like to share it with you. First name. Join me for an engaging 3 hours live workshop. Boring. To be honest, here you're not giving the benefits. This is the biggest problem, and you should know this after 3 weeks inside the cave. You're giving the benefit. You're giving this. Oh my gosh! You're giving the features. You're giving the features instead of the benefits. 3-hour live workshop where I reveal my 7-step and help kickstart. I developed when people start reading, I've developed a step-by-step blueprint. They already know you're pitching something. They already know you're trying to take their money. It just sounds salesy as fuck. It sounds salesy. You don't really want to develop a step-by-step blueprint that helped me earn $1 million also in under a year is very generic. It could be 10 days, it could be 100 days, it could be 353 days. Say a number. You know the ultra specific stuff actually works very good with the human mind. So say a number, say 157, I don't know. Just say a number better than under a year. Click here to discover the $1 million blueprint for under. Okay. Here you called it the 7-step entrepreneur blueprint. Here you called it the $1 million blueprint. On the title, you called it the $1 million bits formula. Use one. You are confusing everybody by using 3 different names for the same thing. I agree that you should say that you should use a fancy name, because when people hear a fancy name, they're more attracted to it than just saying a blueprint. But you're using 3 different ones. Like you're confusing the reader. So if you really want to use it, use one of them. Sign off. You have less than 12 hours left before I reveal the 7-step to those who signed up. Make sure you don't miss out. Click here and save your spot before it's too late. The PS is fine. I give this email a 6 out of 10. The hook, I give it a 10 out of 10. It's a very good hook. 9.5 out of 10, let's say. 9.5 out of 10. The body, a 7 out of 10. And the call to action, definitely a 5 out of 10. It's not sufficient. It's not enough. The call to action here, all this offer part, here, here you can do much better than that. You already know this sounds boring, salesy, and all that kinds of stuff. So I give this email, I don't remember what I said, if a 6 or a 7, 6.5 out of 10. Now, let's go on and read my version of the email. I tweaked it a little bit. I didn't change entire structure of it, but I just tweaked it a little bit. So, before reading the subject lines, let's read the email. Let me put myself here on the right. What I'm about to tell you can make it hard for you to sleep tonight. And I'm not exaggerating. Ready? Okay. Making $1 million a year is easy. What? That can be true. Well, it is. $1 million a year equals $83,466 a month. Which means that all you need to do is find a way to make $83,460 a month. And look, if you think in terms of 9-to-5 job, making such an amount of money is nearly impossible. But with your biz, well, it's very doable. All you have to do is sell $834 recurrent service to 100 people, and boom, you're making $83,466 a month. Crazy, right? Wait, I already know what you're thinking. Okay, name, that's cool and all, but how do I find the right service to sell? And most importantly, how do I even sell it? First name, I knew you were gonna say that, lol. Click here to copy and paste the steps that made me a millionaire in only 357 days. Sign off. P.S. In less than 12 hours, I revealed the 7 steps to those who signed up. Make sure you're one of them. Click here and save your spot before it's too late. Good email, right? But what did I change? Why does it sound so much better? Why does it flow better? Let's look at it. Actually, let's first look at the subject line I chose, because as you see, the subject line should be the topic of the email. It should really be the mirror of the email, the summarized version of the email. The email in 35 characters. That's what the subject line is. And here we have, it's crazy how easy it is to make $1 million. Controversial, unique, makes you, like, creates intrigue. It works. How I made $1 million in 357 days, step by step. Useful, unique, and ultra specific. 357 days. This is how I made $1 million in 357 days. It's the same. You can choose the one that you want, but all of these subject line works. All of these subject lines work. Okay? Let's look at what I changed inside the email. Hey, first name, without telling you, here I kept it exactly the same. Here I said, ready? Okay. Making $1 million a year is easy. It's a statement, so I put it both bold and capital. Okay? Because it's the main statement of the email. That's the main message of the email. Wait, that can be true. Well, it is. $1 million a year is 83,000. Okay, I put this in bold because, I don't know, it's like a second statement. I didn't put it capital, but I put it bold. And many of you play too much with the bold. Like, chill out with the bold. It needs to be for the very few things, the main things of the email, not for everything. I see people using bold for any kind of shit. And you shouldn't. You really shouldn't. So, which means that all you need to do is find a way to make 83,000 a month. And look at this little hack that I use, that I teach, that I preach. All you need to do is, this is a very powerful way to formulate your sentence in a way that sounds easy, feels easy to the reader. It's like, if I said, which means that you need to do $83,466 a month, sounds much different than, which means that all you need to do is make $83,466 a month. Makes it feel easy, even though it's not. It makes it feel easy. And all we changed is we started the sentence with all you need to do is. So use it. And look, if you think in terms of a 9-to-5 job, I basically say the same stuff. I just reworded it a little bit, make it more concise, put it over a few more lines, and it flows better. And look, if you think in terms of a 9-to-5 job, making such an amount of money is nearly impossible. But with your beats, well, it's very doable. Look at, like, if you were closing your eyes and listening to me reading this email, you wouldn't even know I was reading an email because it just flows naturally, which is how an email should flow, naturally. So close your eyes for now and listen to me. And look, if you think in terms of a 9-to-5 job, making such an amount of money is nearly impossible. But with your beats, well, it's very doable. That sounded like me when I talk. I was talking earlier at the bar with a friend, and I was talking exactly that way. And I wrote exactly that way, which is why my emails work, because they're natural, flow naturally. So a tip is that when you write like you talk. Simple. There's no structure. The structure is that you write like you talk, so the email flows and feels natural. And if you know a bit of psychology, the email sells. Making such an amount of money is nearly impossible. But with your beats, well, better do. All you need to do, again, here I said that all you have to do, or here I said all you need to do is. Here I said all you have to do is. It's the same thing. Same exact thing. 834, here I specified what you didn't say. Recurrent service, or it wouldn't make sense, to 100 people, and boom, you're making $83,466 a month. Crazy, right? Good, we ask a question, and they say, yeah, it's fucking crazy. And here is how I went into the offer. I asked it much better than you this question. Wait, I already know what you're thinking. Okay, name, that's cool and all, but how do I find the right services to sell? And most importantly, how do I even sell it? In these 2 lines, you really want to get what the reader is thinking. Like, you really need to guess it. You need to guess what the reader is thinking right now. And I believe they're thinking that. And of course, I wrote it in a natural way, like a normal person thinks. I don't think anybody has ever thought in their life, okay, name, but how do I start my own business and create my products or service? Sounds so boring. Nobody thinks like that. We think in much a more articulated way, much a more natural way than that. That's kind of robotic. So mine was more natural. That's the only difference between the two. And here is the tweak. This is where you see an expert, a professional copywriter, and someone who started 3 weeks ago. It's not a big difference, but I know that I don't need to explain what I'm going to sell. I don't need to explain it to them. They're going to see that in the sales page. My job is to get them to click. And the way I did it this time, by getting them curious about it. First name. I knew you were gonna say that. Lol, because I'm saying it laughing. I knew you were gonna say that. Click here to copy and paste the steps that made you a millionaire in only 357 days. Kind of a long subject line, kind of a long call to action, but it's fine because we stayed short on the pre-call to action. Look, first name. I knew you were gonna say that. Boom, call to action. No need to explain what we're like. There's no need to explain. We're just telling them what they're getting out of it. I don't need to tell them if it's a workshop, if it's a course, if it's a banana. I don't need to tell them what it is. I just need to tell them that if they go there, they can copy and paste the steps that made me a millionaire in 357 days. Look, I said 357 days because in the subject line, I've put in 357 days because it was in under a year, right? The prompt was, doesn't say anything about that, but yeah, instead of saying in under a year, I said in 357 days because it's an older specific number that makes it feel so much better, realer, more real. Don't say realer, much more real. Okay. Sign off, and here the PS, I also tweaked it a little bit. PS, in less than 12 hours, I revealed the 7 steps to those who signed up. Here I said, make sure you're one of them, instead of make sure you don't miss out. Simple. There's a little tweak, but it sounds better. So, this was it for the email review. Your email, the girl's email, is actually very good. 3 weeks, guys. In 3 weeks, inside my Discord server, by practicing every day, reading my emails, watching my extra videos, she got to this level. In next week, she's going to be ready to have a client of $1,000 a month. And she's working towards that. She's outreaching, following my advices. That's all because she's inside the server. And she's really getting better. Like, you should see her first email. I should put it up here. It's disgusting compared to these only 3 weeks later. Which, okay, the call to action was shit, but everything else flowed pretty good. So to her, I would say keep it up. To you, I would say get in the Juby's cave because that's where the fun is. And that's how you get better, by networking with other copywriters and learning from someone who has already done it. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got some value out of it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.